Hi, this is Josh with Fight Bad Medicine. Today I want to talk to you about maximizing the use of your nutrients. How to get the most energy out of the food that you're consuming every day. So you're going to ask, why is it important to maximize the use of your nutrients? As long as I eat healthy, I should get enough nutrients. That's typically not true. It's obviously very, very important to consume plenty of fruits and vegetables and whole grains and good fats and good proteins. But if you're not getting the maximum amount of nutrients from those foods, you can become nutrient deficient, and that could lead to a slew of issues. Number two, there could be issues with food cravings, because if you're not getting the nutrients that you need from healthy food, your brain is going to tell you to get it from easily accessible sources. We're talking about carbohydrates from candy bars, from cookies, from cakes. That's not where you want to get your nutrients from. So, how do you maximize the use of your nutrients? The best way to see if you are maximizing the use of your nutrients is to measure certain markers. So, there's a couple of tests I like to run if you really want to see if you're getting the most out of the food that you're consuming. So number one would be a GI test. So in the GI test, it looks at a few markers for breakdown of these components of proteins, breakdown of carbohydrates, breakdown of fats. And if there are too many proteins or too many fats or too many carbohydrates in the stool, that means that you did not absorb it properly in the small intestine. You should not have an abundance of those things in the large intestine. Once it reaches the large intestine, it should have been absorbed earlier in the small intestine. So that's a sign that you're not absorbing these macromolecules, these macronutrients properly. Another marker that we can look at is pancreatic elastase. That just tells us if the pancreas is producing enough digestive enzymes. If you're not producing enough enzymes, which are catalysts, which speed up processes in the body, chemical reactions in the body. In the case of pancreatic enzymes, it's speeding up the chemical reactions to absorb the food in the small intestine to use it as fuel. If you do not have enough pancreatic enzymes, you're not going to be able to absorb proteins and carbohydrates and fats, because it's not going to be broken down into its simplest forms of amino acids, glucose, and fatty acids. So, how do you address this testing? So, you have to look at all these markers together, because in order to pick the best supplement or supplements to be able to maximize the use of those macronutrients, you have to look at all components, and I'll explain what I mean. Let's say the pancreatic elastase is low, which means you're not producing enough digestive enzymes from the pancreas. So you think, okay, just take a digestive enzyme. Very good. That's digestive enzyme would definitely be the way to go. However, which digestive enzyme do you get? So there are ones that have more lipase, or ones that have more protease, depending on what your need is. So if you're not absorbing proteins properly, you want to get a digestive enzyme that focuses on that. If you're not absorbing fats properly, you want to get a digestive enzyme that focuses on that. Also, in some digestive enzymes, they include other things that help with the absorption of those specific things. So for example, proteins. One thing we know, in order to absorb proteins, we need enough hydrochloric acid. We need enough stomach acid. So if we see that the proteins are not being absorbed properly, we want to get something called betaine HCl, or betaine hydrochloric acid. So, which will literally increase the stomach acid, and you'll be able to absorb proteins properly, because they'll start being broken down in the stomach. And it's not the acid, again, in the past video, it's not the stomach acid, just a small point, it's not the stomach acid which breaks down the proteins, it's actually the pepsin, but that is sparked by a signal of the stomach acid, just to clarify things. Then if you see you're not absorbing enough fats, you want to get a digestive enzyme that includes something called ox bile. So we produce bile in our liver and stored in the gallbladder. But if that's not working efficiently, or if you don't have your gallbladder was taken out, I highly suggest taking ox bile. What bile does in the body is it emulsifies fats. It doesn't digest it, it just breaks it down into smaller pieces. Basically like soap breaks down fats on your dishes. So, again, digestive enzymes are great, but you want to look for something with betaine HCl if you're not digesting proteins properly. If you're not digesting fats properly, you want to look for something with ox bile. They make some digestive enzymes with gentian. Gentian is a bitter herb, which actually helps the bitter things. As we've spoken in the 10 tips for healthy digestion, consuming bitter things will help spark stomach acids and spark producing bile. So that will help with absorption of proteins and with fats. So when you get past that stage of digestion, what else can you look at? Digestion and absorption, what else can you look at? You have to look at the metabolic cycle and to see if the fats and the proteins and carbohydrates are being transitioned into ATP. And there's certain things that you need in order to break these macronutrients into useful products to eventually produce ATP, which is the energy that the cells use. So if you look at an organic acid test, and I like the organics from Genova, and if you look at that test, it actually will test to see if your carbohydrates are being broken down properly. It'll test if your fats are being broken down properly. It'll look at your mitochondria. And that's where most ATP is created from. Our food is in the mitochondria. We call it, in Bio 101, we call it the power plant of the cell, if you remember. So you want to take supplements that support these things. So number one, you definitely want to support the mitochondria. And just a few things to throw out there that the mitochondria needs in order to function is CoQ10. You've heard of that. It's great for the heart. But the reason it's great for the heart is because the heart is mostly cardiac muscle, and it has the most mitochondria per cell in the body. And that's why CoQ10 is so important for the health of the heart. However, the idea of CoQ10 is to produce ATP, which is energy, in the mitochondria. It acts as a shuttle for electrons, yada yada, and it eventually produces ATP. Other things that are very important to produce ATP in the mitochondria, N-acetylcysteine is a very important amino acid, so you'll find that in a lot of mitochondria supplements. You'll find malic acid in these mitochondria supplements. If you're talking about specifically breaking down fats, you'll find that a lot of these supplements, acetyl-L-carnitine. Sometimes you want to take it separately if you find that there's fat malabsorption, but it's L-carnitine or acetyl-L-carnitine is a more absorbable form. In order to absorb sugars properly, carbohydrates, that would be alpha-lipoic acid, or chromium is really fantastic. Vanadium is another mineral. So these things are important in order to break down carbohydrates. So I'll name a few supplements that I really, really like for all these uses. So for digestive enzymes, I love Digestion V from Orthomolecular. Great product. It includes a gentian. It also has artichoke leaf, which is great for absorbing fats, breaking down fats. Great product. Another great product is Digeszymes from Designs for Health. It's a great product because it includes betaine hydrochloric acid and it contains ox bile. Fantastic product. Pure Encapsulations has some great products that specialize in certain things. They have a great digestive enzyme called Digestive Enzymes Ultra. Fantastic product. So that's in terms of that. I love apple cider vinegar and lemon juice or ginger tea. before the meal in order to break these things down, in order to spark the stomach acids, spark the bile to help break down foods a little bit better. And in terms of breaking down, in terms of supporting the mitochondria, there's a couple great supplements. Designs for Health has a great one, mitochondrial NRG. It's fantastic. It includes a lot of the things we talked about, including CoQ10, malic acid, L-carnitine. And then another great supplement, and it could also be sort of like a multivitamin, is called MitoCore. And that actually has a ton of acetylcarnitine and a ton of N-acetylcysteine. Really, really great product. And then you could get N-L-carnitine. There's a lot of great brands for that. Alpha-lipoic acid, a lot of great brands. Chromium, a lot of great brands if you want to get that separately. So just to review, in order to maximize the use of your nutrients, you have to look at digestive enzymes, whether you're breaking down fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. You could look at a gut test to do that. The GI Effects from Genova, or the GI Map from Designs for Health Diagnostic Solutions. And in order to address those issues, you take a digestive enzyme, orthomolecular, and Designs for Health have great ones. Ox bile for fats. We've got methane hydrochloric acid to break down proteins. Another thing I want to just mention, just a side point, if you're taking betaine HCl and it's not breaking down the proteins properly still, it's very likely that you have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, so you want to probably get tested for that. And then just going back to the mitochondria, in order to look at that, to see if you're breaking down these macronutrients into ATP within the cycle, within the Krebs cycle, and in the mitochondria with oxidative phosphorylation. You want to support the mitochondria, and MitoCore from Orthomolecular is a great product. Mitochondrial NRG from Designs for Health is a great product. There's also chromium, vanadium, alpha-lipoic acid for carbohydrate absorption and breakdown, and then we've got acetylcarnitine for fat breakdown. So continue to eat well, but get tested to see if you're maximizing the use of your nutrients. If you're low in energy, you definitely want to get these tests done. If you eat well, especially, and you're still low in energy, get these tests done, because you're probably just not getting enough energy from your food. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time for Fight Bad Medicine. Check out our websites, arcwellnesscenter.com and labsandsupplements.com, and like us on Facebook and like us on YouTube. Thank you. Have a great day.